What's up YouTube, this is Leo with DRIPCalc, and yesterday I made a video on the June distributions or dividends for all the single stock YMAX funds, and today I want to do an estimate or prediction for the dividends for YMAX and YMAG. So these two bad boys right here. So guys, I noticed that less than 7% of you are subscribed to the channel, so a personal plug. This is a new YouTube channel, so I'm asking you to please smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And subscribe to the channel. I'm putting a lot of work into these videos, into the calculators and the tools on the website. So it will really help if you subscribe, help with the algorithm, so more people get to see this. And I want to bring this number to about 10% at least. So please help me do that, and let's begin. And so let's go. I already created a table. So here's the table for all the single stock funds. Here are all their distributions. You can watch the video. I'll link it in the description below. But let's jump into YMAX. Okay, so what is YMAX? First of all, basically it's a fund of funds, and it has in it shares of each of the individual stocks right here. So it has all of these shares in it. The only stocks that it doesn't have is Crash and what's the other one? YBit. Okay, where's the YBit? Somewhere over here, right here. So it doesn't have those because they are new funds and they just had their first dividend this month. So they will be paying their first dividends in June. They didn't pay them before. Okay, so YMAX doesn't have those in it, and you can look on this page. Here are all the holdings, and YBit and Crash is not on it. Anyway, so I cleaned up the holdings. What you can do is just download all the holdings over here. I cleaned it up already, and I made it easy for you. So let's jump into it. Okay, so I have these two columns right here, just to make sure that I don't make mistakes when I calculate the dividends. And basically, these are the funds that it holds, and this is how many shares it holds. So yesterday we calculated the dividends for them, and they're in this table right here. And so based on the number of shares they hold, here's the total dividend for each fund they're holding that they will collect this month in June. And the total for that is $8,222,942. Okay, so this position, this line here, cash and other, this is basically their cash, how much they're holding right now. They probably already paid themselves, so to say. Well, not themselves, but they probably already distributed the cash from all these dividends, from all these funds to the YMAX holding, or maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. So this is how much dividend they will collect in total. Here's how many outstanding shares the fund has right now. So it's 9,275,000. So I have it repeating in each column, but basically this is how many shares outstanding they have right now. The weighting column, that's doesn't help us right now. It's just a dollar weighting in the fund. Okay, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is how much cash they will collect, and if they pay it out 100%, they will be left with basically $1,616. Okay, but keep in mind this fund has a fee, and the fee is 1.29%. Where's the fee? 1.28%. Okay, so that actually helps us, and I already added this to our calculation right here. So we subtract 1.28% from how much they make, and basically the net distribution that they owe to the shareholders is 87.38 cents. Okay, that's after they collect their fee. And the way we get it is we take this number, the total dividends they collect, and divide it by the number of shares outstanding. We get 87.38 cents. All right, so will we get the full amount? Probably not. So I estimate they will hold back for future reserves about 10% of this amount. So my estimate right here is 77.38 cents for the month of June. Okay, I'll make it a little bigger so it's easier to see right here. All right, so that's my estimate. Now, how can this change? First of all, they can hold back cash reserves a little less or a little more, so this will change. And also the number of shares outstanding, it will probably change from now until the declaration date. If you scroll all the way down over here and bottom distribution schedule, and there's two schedules, one for single stock funds, and these are covered call funds. And the funds of funds, they have different declaration and distribution schedule because they have to like organize everything, collect the dividends, and then schedule the payouts. Okay, so for the month of June, the declaration date is June 13th. So that's a week from now. X date, June 14th. So if you don't own this fund by June 13th, you are most likely not getting the dividend. So as you can see here, the star over here, because the T+1 timing on the settlement of the trades, now the record date and next date are basically the same day. June 14th, and the payment date is June 17th. All right, so if you own YMAX or YMAG by June 13, then you will collect the dividend. So let's see how this compares to previous months. Let's reload the page. So let's see how this estimated dividend compares to last month. Okay, so if we go to this page right here, this is a page for YMAX. Last month they paid 73.2 cents dividend per share. So let's go back to our spreadsheet. I already did the calculation right here. We just got to change the font color. Okay, so the difference between my estimate and last month is 5.71% increase from the previous months, which is actually amazing. So yeah, I think they will do pretty well. So the only thing that might change this estimate is actually the number of shares outstanding at the beginning of the month. So let's play with it right here. Okay, so let's say there's like 10 million and 100,000 shares. Okay, so that reduces our dividend to 80 cents, and then what we will collect is basically 70 cents, 70.114 cents. But currently, as it stands right now, that would be like an increase of almost 10% in shares outstanding. I kind of doubt that will happen, but you know, more people might buy into the fund. So let's change this to, let's say, 500,000. So we would collect a little bit more than last month, about a couple of percent. But yeah, we shall see. We have 1 week left until they announce the dividends, and by then they will pretty much know how many shares outstanding there are, because like we said over here, the X date is on the next day from the expiration, from the declaration. So by then, I don't think too many shares will be added to the fund. Anyway, now the same thing. Let's look at YMAG. Okay, so YMAG only holds the Magnificent Seven single stock funds. Okay, so that's MZ, Apple, Phoebe, GUI, MSFO, NVIDIA, and Tesla. And here's the number of outstanding shares for YMAG fund. Here is how much dividend they collect this month, number of shares of each fund that they own. Here are the weightings, so they're much more evenly distributed except for NVIDIA. And again, this is a dollar weighting, so the NVIDIA actually ran up in price a lot, so that's why they have the highest weighting. Whereas if we look at YMAX, okay, they have, you know, like more spread between the weightings. So AIYY for some reason is actually at the top, although the share price on that is not super high. MSFO, I would expect, like, yeah, NVIDIA is still the highest by weighing, by the percentage of the dollar amounts, and Misty for some reason is actually at the bottom of this. But okay, doesn't matter. Let's jump back to YMAG. Okay, so we estimate they will collect $2,342,000 in dividends, and their cash right now sits at $1,000 less, basically. So we do this minus that, and they will be left with $1,158 if they pay out 100% of the dividend. But they will not, because they actually take 1.28% for themselves. So we have to adjust this formula. It's good I caught it. I think it's 1.29, but whatever. Their website says 1.28. Okay, that's how much they keep in their for themselves as a salary for the managers and whatnot, you know, to cover expenses of the fund. So the dividend per share, again, we have 2,750,000 outstanding shares as of today. Today is June 6th. And that brings our dividend to 83.9 cents per share. And that's after YMAG takes their fee. Okay, so again, if they hold back 10% for the cash reserves, that leaves us with 73.9 cents. Now in May, they paid 63.7 cents. And that would be an improvement of 16%. That would be an amazing improvement. Okay, let's play with the number of shares outstanding, because we have a week to go. Let's say there's 250 more thousand shares. We're still about 5% above last month, so that's pretty good. All right, so yeah, so the June distribution for YMAG will be pretty good, and that's mostly on the back of NVIDIA because it's the GOAT. It's made a significant share. Wow, let's calculate how much NVIDIA brought to the whole fund. Okay, so we take, like over here, equals this divided by total, and we make this percent. So they brought in, just one fund brought in 31.9% of the total dividend income for this fund of funds. So all the other slackers, 6 funds, they brought in 68.1%. So 68% between 6 funds, and Nvidia is the GOAT. Like, they are picking up the slack, and MSFO is like all the way at the bottom of the barrel. Apple also kind of meh. Anyway, okay guys, so these are my estimates now. I'm not done. I want to compare the 2 funds between them. Again, these numbers, they can change depending on the number of outstanding shares as of June 13. But it should be close to, there shouldn't be a huge increase. So far in like 5 months, they only have 2.75 million shares, and maybe it's a good time to pick up the shares. It's a pretty good fund. Okay, so I have this stock comparison tool, and I already ran it between YMAX and YMAG. Okay, and their total performance with dividends reinvested from the beginning, from their inception. And that's if you invested $10,000, you can play with these amounts, but we want to see percentages. So in, 4 months, January 30th, so February, March, April, May, 4 months basically, the total return for YMAG is 16%, and for YMAX is 13%. So why is that? It's actually very interesting, guys. So you can see they pay roughly similar dividends, but most of the difference happened over here in March. That's when the market kind of tanked a lot. There was like a 5-6% correction on S&P 500, and even bigger correction on QQQ. So let's look at the price of these funds, and this will give us a really good picture of what happened. So right here, March 14th, that's their distribution declaration. Okay, so, and this is the last day to, no, actually we got to look at March 13. Let's bring this closer over here. We are in March. So right here, March 13, that's the declaration. The stock price, there is about $1.20 difference, and YMAX is more expensive than YMAG. Okay, and that's when Apple was like $160, $165, and everything crashed. Anyway, so the next day is ex-dividend day. Okay, they both fall. So now there's about 89 cents, 86, about $1 difference between them. So next day, that's a record day, but already the stock is down for both of them. And now there's $1 difference between them. But if you look at their March dividend, so you see here, the dividend for YMAX was 57 cents and YMAG was 59 cents. So while your stock price is cheaper by $1, your dividend is slightly higher. It's like it's only 2 cents higher, but your price is 5% higher. So when you reinvest, you actually get more shares because your dividend is higher and your stock price is cheaper. So that's good. And then there was another drop in YMAG. Okay, and so this is April. Okay, over here is the record day, declaration. Let's just confirm. Yeah, so April 14 is declaration. April 16 declaration. Stock drops. Then the next day it also drops again. And so now it's there is about 60-cent difference between them, and YMAG is once again cheaper. Let's look at the dividend. 62 cents versus 60. So okay, they're say about the same dividend amount, but the price is again 60 cents cheaper. So you buy more shares when you reinvest those dividends, and so as a result, you have a bigger return over time. And even though they're like practically the same price right now, because you've been reinvesting those dividends at lower prices, the YMAG return is higher right now. So that's very interesting. So you guys should use this tool. It's very good for research to see how things perform over time, and where you should allocate the money. Now again, this is not a investment advice, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually make a video on how much of these funds, if you want to retire on them, how much money you should invest in them if you want to retire and collect the dividends. Okay, and I'm actually gonna make a calculator for that, so stay tuned for that video. So guys, I ask you, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel. I put a lot of work into these videos, and it would really help me grow the channel. It's a new channel, so we need all the help we can get. If you own these funds, let me know how many shares you have in the comment section below. I would like to know that. I'd like to know like who owns what. Clearly YMAX is more popular than YMAG, but returns on YMAG are actually better, and mostly for Nvidia. So if it wasn't for Nvidia, actually YMAX would probably perform better, but it is what it is. Nvidia is the GOAT. It's yesterday it overtook Apple in market cap, and added 2 Palantirs in one day. That's pretty funny. Anyway, okay guys, thanks for watching. Again, smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.